This morning I was reading in the book of Job. I love the book. I love the story, the richness of everything that's in there. But this morning as I was reading, I was somewhat identifying with Job in the sense that the heavens are quiet. God isn't speaking, or at least it seems like he's not speaking. Job is in this place of despair, of frustration, of anxiety, and the heavens are quiet. You ever been there? I have. The thing is that Job was, in spite of the silence of heaven, was still walking in faith, that God had his back. He believed that God was merciful and that God was a just God. And regardless of whether or not he could hear from God, wouldn't change his feelings or his perspective about who God is. It sort of reminds me of the hat that I have on, which is a life is good hat. Well, why do I say that? Well, because life is good regardless of what's happening, regardless of where you're sitting and what you're sitting in or what's going on around you. Life is still good. And we cannot get focused on the things that are going on that are trying to pull us down into a pit of despair and misery. Why? Well, simply because there's a better life, there's a better plan, and regardless of what you feel or think or see, doesn't mean that it's not there. And that's what Job was trying to convey to his friends. I mean, after all, what he's saying is, yes, I know all these things have happened to me, but God is just. God is loving, God is forgiving, God is all of those things, and I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on God. And the thing that we all have to understand that regardless of where we're at, regardless of what's going on around us, we can have faith that God has a plan and a purpose. And it's better than we could ever imagine. The thing is that sometimes we just need to sit in the darkness. We need to sit in a place where there's no light, where there's no answers. It's okay. That's part of faith. It's part of patience. My encouragement to you today is no matter what you're going through, believe and have faith that God has a plan even in the darkness, even when there is no light shining, even when there is no voice being spoken, simply because God is God. And what God is doing, we can't always understand or see, but he's still doing it. Remember, Elijah in the cave was trying to hear from God, and it was the still small voice of God that finally spoke. Not the thunder, not the clap of rain, not any of that stuff. It was quiet. And that's the way God often speaks. Think about that today, would you? Hey, until next time, God bless.